Hey, everybody. This is episode 14 of the Channeling Source podcast. I'm Brandon Bloom, and Kat is here once again. And of course, I'm about to jump into full channel mode, step out of the way, see what my spirit guides, the angels and source, see what the Angelic Collective of Xorbítal would like to say and bring through regarding the questions that Kat has brought to the table today. Kat, would you like to say hello, say anything, give him the old
Hi.
razzle dazzle, whatever that means?
Hello. Glad to be here. I have credentials. I'm a Reiki master, etc. But I'm really just here to ask the questions. So I'm excited to get going.
Okay. Yeah, so they're pretty much saying they'd not like to have any comments from us about anything else. So I guess we're just going to roll right into full channel mode session and see what they'd like to bring through for you guys. And all right, let's see what comes through. Welcome, welcome. We are ready to get going. Our engines are revving metaphorically, and we are prepared to bring through the information based on the questions Kat has prepared for this episode. So, Kat, please fire off the first question when you are ready. We are ready to go. We are raring to go.
All right. Okay, so the first question is, how do we best balance showing love to family this holiday season while protecting our well-being at the same time?
Well, boundaries are the key, of course, as you may think, as you may know, as many of you may roll your eyes as we say that. For you have to come first in your life. Before you are ready for love for others at its utmost. And let us explain. Of course, you can care for others when you don't have boundaries. You can have love for others, even if you have poor boundaries or lack boundaries. However, having strong, optimal boundaries is the first step to holding your utmost love for others. And of course, it is a key to loving yourself first. For as you have healthy boundaries, it's much more accessible for you to step into the love you have for others fully without getting trampled on or without getting used or without getting abused. So you do have to come first, and we would have you keep that in mind for all your interactions this holiday season or for whenever you happen to be listening to or watching this episode, whatever platform you're imbibing this on. So, really, our question is, are you putting yourself first enough? Do you have a balanced approach to your relationships in general, or do you find yourself overgiving or overly pining for validation from others before protecting yourself? And by protecting yourself, we don't mean uh, mm, oh, you need to etherically protect yourself from all the bad juju. No, we mean more using your healthy boundaries and your approach to interaction and the space you're taking for yourself to protect yourself so you feel you are in a safe space to optimally interact for others. That is the key here. So, mm, we would say yes, love them, hold love for them in your hearts. However, get to a good place in yourself where you are loving yourself first and holding optimal boundaries instead of pining for love from people if they are not forthcoming with their love for you, etc. Do you have any further questions on the topic?
Uh, no, I don't think so. I think that's a really good way to put it. Because I think uh, like it's easy to come out of our own centers and our own power when we are craving that validation from people that might just not have it to give anyways.
Absolutely. Well, you have to ask, what do you need? So, we would suggest, what do I need today? What do I need this Christmas? What do I require this holiday season before I start giving, giving, giving to everyone else? What can I afford to give? What love can I afford to give? Or even if you are loving from a distance, that is far better than, so for example, if you are taking space from someone as a boundary for you, if you have a more narcissistic parent, for example, maybe you show up for Christmas dinner and you have your boundaries up and you recognize it may not be best to tell them every single thing going on in your life. You could just give them answers that work for you, or if you channel that your spirit guides tell you to give, you don't have to overshare or pine for their validation. You know where they're at, you know what they're going to give you. So you can just approach it in a way that's a lot lighter. You're not trying to change them, you're not trying to change the dynamic. You're just approaching it in a way that works for you first, not in an overly selfish way where you're showing up and slapping people in the face and being exceptionally rude to people either. Just in a way where you're not going to engage on the levels where you know it's going to be painful for you or potentially both of you to go there. So it's more loving for you to hold that space and take that space as necessary for yourself and love them from a distance than it is to put yourself through turmoil, trying to change the dynamic, change the situation, putting yourself through turmoil, trying to change everyone else when you are really the crux. In a sense, you do not always control everyone else in the dynamic. You do control you and your actions, your behaviors, your choices, your boundaries, what you will say no to, what you will say yes to. So you are the crux in what dynamics you will allow into your life, as much as it might not be what you'd like to hear when we say that. Well, all these people are so narcissistic. How can you say it's the crux is on me? Well, you are the one choosing to let them in, choosing to interact with them in specific ways, choosing to interact with them in the ways that are painful for you. So stop that. You can choose something else. You can approach it differently. You can get to a place in yourself where it doesn't matter to you what they think. It's not relevant to you what they think or what they say, because you know it's not personal. You know it has nothing to do with you. And if it does get under your skin, okay, you have some work to do, some investigation to do, you have some healing to do, or you have some self-work to do as far as how to not let their energies or projections get to you. So we will leave it there unless you would like to go further into the topic.
Mm. Yeah, well, it does have me thinking about how many people go to see their family or go back into these dynamics that aren't the best for them, just because there's so much pressure to spend time with family around the holidays. And is there a way to distance yourself from that without feeling a lot of guilt?
Mm. Of course, it depends on the person we are speaking to and where they are at. We would say you're going to have to focus on you first, as we've been saying. You are the most important one in your world. You are the one that your life revolves around, ideally. And if your world is not for you, well, then who is it for? And why are you painting your world and choosing your world in a way where it is for others before you? It is your life. It is, in some ways, maybe your responsibility to make it about you, and not in a way where it completely exclude others, in a way where you are rude to others, you are becoming more narcissistic in a sense, just in a way where you are empowered and choosing for you and living your best life. So we will get back to the question at hand. You're going to have to realize that guilt in some ways is a manufactured emotion. It's emotion centered around control from others. It's not really a real emotion. And what do we mean by not really a real emotion? Well, babies do not come into the world feeling tons of guilt and shame. Not usually. If they do, it's energetic, picked up on from others. It's not their own natural, from source guilt and shame. Fresh baby guilt. Very nice. Very wonderful. Thank you, baby, for bringing your baby guilt into the world. Ha! No, it is a trained emotion. Some people use it to punish themselves because they think they deserve it, which is really usually them picking it up from others in many instances. So recognizing that, you can realize that the guilt really doesn't serve you, and it's time to undo the beliefs, undo the stories, undo the projections that the guilt belongs there in the first place for any reason. Some of you may hate that because you think, well, what about those people who do mass murders and terrible things in the world? Should they not feel guilt? We would say, well, they are not really operating from consciousness, are they? No, they're not really operating from awareness. They're not really operating from a high vibrational place whatsoever. However, if they were going to change and change their ways and become a high vibrational player in the world, so to speak, would guilt get in the way of that? Would guilt harm their healing process? Would guilt really rectify the things they had done in the past? Would it really bring more light to the world? Would it really serve anyone for them to just sit there feeling guilty? They did all these things that you might judge as terrible, and then they just sat there feeling guilty the rest of their lives. You might feel justified in your stories about it, but it wouldn't really change the world for the greater, would it? So, sure, maybe because of the stories and projections and judgments, they would have to work through some guilt or some things like that. However, it might actually hinder their recovery and them becoming a high vibrational player in the world if they were going to make that change in themselves. Again, some of you might hate to hear it. You think guilt is the way, make everyone feel guilty and then they will change. No. Who here has changed out of guilt? Really? Not many, and not in the ways you would like. So we would say guilt doesn't have to be there. Guilt is a manufactured emotion. Guilt isn't serving you. It might be a good time to delve into why you are feeling guilty in the first place and how to shift that so that you are in a healthy place for yourself in the first place regarding all that. And that's going to take some emotional self work, healing, and sifting through stories and beliefs and projections potentially until you get to what is true for you and get to that place and operate more from there, at which point you will feel a lot more lightness and a lot more freedom because you're not trying to squeeze yourself into guilt to appease other people or to appease other people's stories or projections, etc. Beyond that, it's okay to take space for you. It's okay to interact with family an amount that will work for you. And you can schedule things in a way that that happens and just say, hey, this is what's going to work for me. I'd love to see you for a day. However, I have this, this, and this to do around that. So we're going to do something else. You're going to have to set your life up for you, not for everyone else. That might be a tough pill to swallow. And if it is going to make your life much more difficult with the way your family treats you, perhaps if you're financially dependent on them, well, maybe you can suck it up for a Christmas or for a weekend or something. But you don't have to give your whole life away. So do your best with this. It can be tricky. The more tools you have in your tool belt to be yourself, both energetically in the way you approach your life, the more you're approaching your life authentically and in a way that works for you, and also honestly, at least with yourself, the more you're ready to set boundaries in a healthy way, and again, you don't have to punch people in the face verbally with that, the better your life is going to be. So suck it up if you have to. Don't suck it up if you don't. Does that make sense for now?
Yeah, no, it does. Thank you.
And one night with the, well, if they are totally abusive, why are you even going there in the first place, is what we will say. If it is that bad, why are you subjecting it, yourself to that? Where's the self-love in that? Where's the self-care in that? Where's the healthy boundaries in that? If it's not that bad, it's just irritating dynamics that get under your skin. Well, that is a great test of your self-work for a night if you are seeing family, huh? That is a great test to see how far you have transformed if you were seeing family for a night. And you know, as you transform yourself, as you truly change and change your vibration, the vibration of your family will change. They will begin to behave differently. So you may need to look at your personal transformation to a greater degree. And again, this is not to blame you, not to say it's all your fault. The way your family is your fault. No. We would say that you do play a role in the dynamics that are showing up. So changing yourself and your frequency is one way to shift the dynamics that you find yourself in, as opposed to, well, just leaving them if that's the way you need to do it for now. However, what if you shifted you? You took a whole year next year to really shift you and your vibration and everything about you and your energies and how you are showing up to the best of your ability. And you could do it with ease. It doesn't have to be super difficult or strenuous, and see how the people around you shift. And we are not promising your narcissistic mother will become an enlightened guru by Christmas next year if you do this. However, you will notice oftentimes a softening in the dynamic or shift in you and how you react to things and respond to things that begins to shift the way things go when they begin behaving a certain way. And over time, you will notice things shifting if you keep going on your self-healing journey and self elevation journey. You're shifting yourself journey, becoming more conscious journey. So don't neglect your role in the dynamic. We say this because it is a key to your personal power to see how you influence things, to see how you fit the dynamic. And we are not going to overly baby you and baby you and baby you and coddle you and have you stuck in the same place for 5 years when you could have looked at yourself and could have looked at how you influence the dynamic, even if it sucked, even if all your stories said they are the narcissist and they are wrong and they are bad and I am right and I am the good empath, the good empath, and I have the good impact on the world. Why aren't they seeing that? Why aren't they treating me well? Maybe you have more work to do, at least on your boundaries or in some other area. And it's time to get out of the fight, get out of the stories, and look at it objectively and see, is there a way I can shift to shift this? Is there a boundary I can set to shift this? Is there a different way I can approach this to shift this? And if not, distance yourself if you can. That is what we will say for now.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So the next question I have is how to let go of stress and come back to the feelings of joy and wonder I used to have around this time of year.
Well, you will have to begin to cultivate that for yourself and find the things that bring you joy and wonder and make that more an everyday reality for you. What are the things that cause you to celebrate your life? You are alive today and you can celebrate that. Tomorrow is not always guaranteed for everyone. That's not to stress you out. That's not to get you to be afraid. That's not to get you to give up on life and run up your credit cards and not to get you to overspend. But it is to get you to go, wow, I'm alive. I'm here. I have a chance today. I have a chance to breathe. I have a chance to create a life I'd like to have today. I have a chance to shed the old stories and live the life I dream of. I have a chance to be in joy. I have a chance to be in appreciation. And if you're not there, we're not saying beat up on yourself, you're wasting your life. No, no. You can be an allowance of whatever is showing up on a given day. You can be okay with it and allow it to shift at the right time. And for many of you who are intuitive, you'll realize you're not going to die tomorrow. You'll know you have more time, but that's not the point. The point is looking at what lights you up today. So, what does bring you more wonder, Kat? What does bring you more joy, Kat? Is it a 5 minutes of watching a YouTube video that warms your heart? We would also mention setting the intention for more of that to show up this holiday season. Some of you forget you can ask for these things that you are pining for, or think are missing, or think are lacking. You can say, what will it take for joy and wonder to show up for me this holiday season? What will it take for this to be a great holiday season? What are the possibilities for this to be an amazing, wonderful holiday season for me? No matter the stories, no matter the things going on with parents, no matter the things going on with family, no matter the things going on in the world, what would it take for this to be wonderful for me? What are the infinite possibilities of that showing up for me? Thank you, universe, for helping me have a wonderful holiday season. You can ask for that every day. You can move the energies in that direction. And you're not powerless in all this. And if it doesn't seem to be showing up, well, time to dig into that. That's very curious. What's going on here? Why isn't it showing up? Is there a belief I need to shift? Is there a contract I need to shift? Is there some energy healing I can do that would allow this to show up with greater ease? You are powerful creators, however. It's possible for you to be in joy every day or most of the time. Sure, sometimes things happen where there is grief, where there is release, or there is some form of a loss or something else. And we would say, have grace for yourself. Forgive yourself if you are not in joy in those situations. You do not have to be in happiness and joy all the time. It is a possibility that you can be in joy and happiness all the time. It is a lie that you can't be, no matter your story. Your story might tell you you can't be. That is a lie. And we would say most stories regarding life, most projections, most judgments are a lie. So see if you can find the truth in our words when we say things like that to you. So remember, you can ask for it. Remember to celebrate your life. Remember, you can bring in the things that cause you to celebrate every day. Whether it is a drink you enjoy and you are celebrating your life every day with a drink you enjoy, does not have to be alcoholic, by the way. It could be a kombucha, it could be juice, it could be something else. Whether it's a special meal you begin to prepare for yourself in the holiday seasons or something you treat yourself to, does not have to be monetarily expensive, depending on your situation. We would say get into celebration with whatever you can and stay in that energy until more wonder shows up. And remember, you are alive today. Remember, you are alive today. And the more you are in that space of celebrating your life, in giving yourself moments you enjoy, even if it's just for you, you will attract better. That is what we'd like to say.
Okay, so my next question is kind of going back to the first question. I ordered it a little bit weird, but you you did touch on this a bit, but something that's come up is feeling like even narcissistic people that I've known in the past that I don't currently have a relationship with, I can still feel the energies of control a little bit or feel the energies of like constricting myself and making myself feel small. Or there is someone in my life right now who has narcissistic tendencies, and there's an interaction with them lately that, like, on the surface was pretty simple, but energetically, I saw in my mind's eye like this like steel fist coming in and like grabbing my solar plexus, and I just like contracted because of that. So what are the best ways to like maneuver that, to navigate that, to set those energetic boundaries with narcissistic type people?
Mm. Well, energetically, we would actually recommend clearing cords with these individuals every day. And even if you don't notice new cords, at least check in. Oh, is there anything else that came in today? Anything else that showed up today? And really be alert in how you are clearing those cords or setting those boundaries with them. For if you continually clear the cords and the things that come up as you begin to remove those things, you will gradually shift the relationship energetically over time. You also have to check, are you leaving an opening for them somehow to get into quote unquote your energies? Is there something a story in your head, a belief in your head going on where you think you're supposed to let them into your energies, you're supposed to let them have control? That's something to check in about. And you might have to find, are there feelings of guilt or shame? Are there different things like that telling me that, oh, I shouldn't have my own agency. I shouldn't have my own freedom. I should stay under the control of this person because, oh, they're so wounded and, oh, they feel so bad. And, oh, it's all my fault, which is not your fault, by the way. It is the fault of their stories, the fault of their projections, the fault of their beliefs in most instances that they feel bad, so to speak. And many times they don't even. They would just like to control things for their own sense of safety, even if it is you. So, you can see how that would not serve you to uh, acquiesce to that, so to speak. Beyond that, have you cleared any contracts with them? If you have, whether subconscious contracts or agreements or soul contracts or agreements, it might be time to check in with those and see, do you need to clear those? Is there anything you missed? Is there any re-clearing that needs to occur to really, really set the intention? No, this is gone. This is not coming back. I do not belong to you. For that is a key. You do not belong to these people. They do not own you, no matter what the story is, no matter what they may think. And you never did. As a soul, you came in, you incarnated with this body in this body, and you are your own being. And even if they have a story like, oh, uh, mm, let's give the example of mm, uh, a parent and their child. If a parent had a story, well, this is my child and I brought them into the world and I own them. They're my property. They reflect on me, blah, blah, blah. Well, that is all bullshit. That is all horseshit. That is all their story that they made up for whatever reason, or they bought it from other people, societally, or blah, blah, blah. You get it. But it's not what is true. So we would also recommend you take as much time as you can getting clear on what is true for you intuitively. Are you owned by those people? No, you are not owned by those people, regardless of the story, regardless of the clenched fist, regardless of the tantrums they might throw if that were to be something that were said to their face or unveiled to them energetically or whatever. Too bad. They've had their whole life to undo patterns, undo beliefs, shift things, become a more healed person, and they chose not to. They chose not to. So, there are many books, many opportunities, many incarnate people have to shift things in their life to be a more healthy person. So it's not a very healthy thing to try to control everyone else and own everyone else. It just is not. It comes from insecurity. It comes from a lack of sense of safety. It comes from a wound. It does not come from a high vibrational, loving place. So We would say recognize that for starters, clear the cords, clear the contracts, things like that, clear the stories and the beliefs that your energy should be open to these people in the first place. We would also recommend for you raising your vibration more. What are the things you put in place every day to elevate your vibration until you are no longer in the same reality as these people? You are no longer living the same vibrational bandwidth at all, no overlap with these people, and they will find it much tougher to breach. You, your energetic boundaries that you set, etc., when you are vibrating at a totally different plane. It is like they will search for you and look for you. All they will see is like a strange mirror image of you or some sort of mm, ghost of you. We say that metaphorically, not literally, as they search for you energetically. They won't be able to. We will say cord you or anything like that. Not that you need to be afraid of cords. You always have the power to sever them, to shift the dynamics. You are for your world, you are in control, we will say, at least to a certain degree. You have agency and authority in your own world and energetic field. So own that fully, please. All of you listening, please own your energetic agency in your own world. However, getting to that higher reality and operating there, even if you think it's abandoning them, which is not, you're just living your best life, that will help set you free as well. So, what are the energetic processes, the meditations, the practices, whatever it is that gets you to a higher reality every day? And put that in place. We realize for some people tuning in, that might be a bit more meta than they're willing to go or ready to go. And we would say, well, it wouldn't take too much time for you to be ready if you were to pay attention and really put different things into practice over the next year here. By next year, you could be flying high with all these ideas, each and every one of you, no matter how new to this you are or think you are. Well, you all each have energetic mastery to some degree, or you would not be here listening to this. Even if you are newer to this lifetime, you have the capability to pick things up quickly with these different things. And some things might take longer than others. You don't need to beat up on yourself or beat up on yourself if you're not a channeling master tomorrow, if you're newer to channeling or anything like that. However, learning to cut cords, learning to facilitate energy healing, learning to become aware of energies, most of you have the capability to learn how to do this relatively quickly. So moving back to Kat here, it's time to own your inner authority over your own reality with your belief system, with what you believe, with the other things we talked about. And there's a bit more we could get to. So give us one moment to open the pathway for this information to come through. What is the life you would like to create? Regardless of what these people say, think, do, energetically do, etc. The more you move towards the life you would like to create, the less these people will have a hold over you. And that is one way you will be living more in your reality. You might think that doesn't make sense or doesn't quite track. However, the more you create the life you'd like to create for you, the more of a buffer you will have with these individuals because you will be owning your power more. And there will just be an energetic buffer as you step into your joy and step into the higher reality of your future. So we will leave it there for that one.
Okay. One thing that does come up, which you already called it out, but the main thing for me is that it does feel like I'm abandoning them. Like maybe a story that I have running is that I'm here to take care of them or to heal them.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no.
Mm.
That was their responsibility their whole life all along. You're not their caretaker. You're not responsible for them. You're not their mother, are you? Not this lifetime.
Mm.
Why do they need you so badly? Because they haven't done their own work? Because they have a story that they need you? You're not abandoning them by living your best life or going to a higher reality or moving on.
I had this past life memory come up once around being their mom, and I did abandon them in that life. And so I think like part of me was wondering if it's like karmic almost for me to stick around longer in this one.
Not necessarily. You could heal that pretty quickly and move on.
Mm,
In fact, some of the lesson, if you will, is realizing this lifetime is not that lifetime.
mm, okay.
It is not your job to appease your past lifetimes with this one in some ways. There will be some things you're brought through that are a nod to that lifetime or other lifetimes that mm, maybe bring healing to the energetic cords and connections between lifetimes. However, your karma is not to be locked into a struggle your whole life with these energies. Part of the issue is just healing it. Healing that lifetime by healing this one, you could say. But that doesn't mean staying stuck or staying connected to them
mm,
because you are not their mother this lifetime. It is not
okay.
your role to take on the motherhood you abandoned in that one, energetically or otherwise.
Mm,
Many people get stuck thinking they have to correct the past entirely with this lifetime, and that is their sole role. No, in your lifetime, this lifetime is about this lifetime. And healing the past lifetimes is so you can have the best lifetime you can have this lifetime and for future lifetimes.
mm,
We realize that might go against the grain of what some people say, and that is okay. We're not here to appease the grain. We're not here to say what everyone else is saying. People wouldn't be so stuck if everyone wasn't just so wrapped up in saying what everyone else was saying and not rocking the boat. We're here to bring through what we're here to bring through, and it's definitely not always what everyone else is saying. Otherwise, there'd be no reason for us to be here channeling this through. And yes, what we say might line up with some others. And that's because you're probably supposed to take that, or that's something you're supposed to examine. However, if you heal your past lifetime, perhaps send Reiki to it or facilitate a session for it, it will help you to move on more readily and easily this one from them. And it will help for the cords or attachments to be more easily shed and kept at bay. It's not your role to mother them this lifetime, is what we will say as well.
mm. Okay. Okay, thank you. My next question is it possible to avoid healing, or sorry, is it possible to avoid having ascension symptoms altogether? And is the concept of ascension symptoms even real?
No, ascension symptoms are made up. So, yes, it is entirely possible to avoid them entirely this lifetime and any other. You'll have to look at the people who are purporting them. Did they
Mm,
actually channel that information? And perhaps some of them maybe did to appeal to a certain crowd who believed wholeheartedly that ascension symptoms were necessary and the only way to be. It's just not true.
mhm,
If you really go to the highest points, if you really ask your soul, if you really ask Source, they will tell you you don't have to struggle. You don't have to go through ascension sickness or illness. It's projected upon the collective from those who speak of ascension. And people buy it and believe it and create it. People just create it. So, ascending with ease is something we'd like to talk about. You're going to have to unbuy the belief that ascension is difficult. You have to go through all this body stuff, all this illness. It has to be so hard. Install the belief instead it can be easy. You can say, I can ascend with ease. What will it take for me to ascend with ease? Brandon has plenty of stories of times he bought into ascension symptoms and illnesses and went through hell and back, sort of, with those after until he got to a point where he realized, oh, he can handle potent energies. He has this potent modality. He works with these potent energies. Shouldn't ascension symptoms be easy peasy, lemon squeezy at this point? And then all of a sudden they were because he believed they were. The second he unbought the belief he needed to be going through it, he stopped going through it. Doesn't mean he stopped ascending, if you will, or evolving, or going higher. It just meant he didn't have to go through crap for no reason. So, this will really rustle some jimmies with the Ascension crowd if they find this. And perhaps for some of you in the normal crowd who wholeheartedly believed in ascension symptoms, for that's the only way you knew you were ascending. Well, it's time to hone your intuition to know whether you're ascending with or without ascension symptoms. You don't need difficult symptoms to tell you're ascending. You just need certain telltale signs or your intuition or divine guidance honed in to know whether or not you're ascending or not. We would say if you're on the planet, you're ascending in some way, shape, or form. Perhaps some will be choosing not to. Perhaps some will be fighting the flow on that one and having a bit more of a difficult time. If you are choosing ascension, you are ascending. If you are on the planet and open to ascending, you are ascending. Is that simple? And many modalities, perhaps different belief systems, might use different words to accommodate what we are saying. Whether it's a luminary shift or it's a human evolution or something like that. The words don't matter. The premise is you're going higher, you're transforming, you're becoming something else, in a sense, on Earth. That's all we'd like to say on that for now.
Okay. All right. So my last question is enlightenment a possibility for everyone who chooses it in this life?
Yes, in a sense. Some did not incarnate with the goal of enlightenment, so to speak. Some did not incarnate for that purpose or learning. However, if you'd like to go there, just ask your soul. You can manifest this. Some of you might roll your eyes. Well, do you manifest much? Do you really use that tool in your tool belt? You can create your reality with it. You can create pretty much anything with it, so long as it's for the highest good. Some of you neglect that you can do something as simple as manifest enlightenment or manifest your gifts or manifest different things in any capacity, any area. It's actually a tool you can use for anything. So please stop forgetting you are a powerful creator who can create your reality and move yourself towards things and attract things towards you and change how the world works, change how your world shows up by shifting your beliefs, by asking, by using your tools, by using energy healing, by using different methods available to you. Some discovered, some yet to be brought through or uncovered or discovered. So it's important to realize you don't have to be stuck or have to be helpless. Maybe that's serving you if you're in that place for a time. However, the tools are coming. There are many different tools, many different modalities, many different things you can learn or uncover to shift any circumstance. You have the power. Believe it. Start to own it more. Start to install that belief more so that you can start to create more. The more you have that creator power, the more you can use that creator power to create more creator power. You all think things are so static, so stuck. It is this way. It is this frozen picture. It's dynamic. It's moving. It's changeable. It's transmutable. You forget this. You are it in some ways. On the human level, though, you may forget it sometimes. So please realize your power. However, yes, it's attainable to all who would like it. We would say you can manifest it, and if you'd like, if you begin to hone in your gifts and your intuition and your manifestation skills and abilities, you can create anything. There may be some caveats to this. You may need to learn how to shift beliefs or how to create your reality. You may need to learn different ins and outs of these things. It might be a bit more complex than just 1, 2, buckle my shoe, I'm enlightened. However, honing in your gifts so you can tell whether you're enlightened or not. So you can discern a way towards enlightenment if your guides would give you a specific way, and manifesting your way there. is really the simplest way for you to do it in an empowered way where you're at the helm. There are other ways, there are other methods, there are gurus you could listen to, there are other channels you could listen to. However, if you'd like to do it for you, 1, 2, hone in your gifts, manifest it. And if you have to hone in those skills, then those are the steps. Those are the places to start. You might think, well, I just like the direct path to enlightenment. We just gave you a way. It might take learning some skills, it might take learning some new things, but it's there. 1, 2. Even if it takes a year for 1 and a year for 2, or if it takes 5 years, or if it's a 10-year journey, or if it's a 2-day journey. Or if you hone in your gifts and you realize you are already enlightened. Ha. Some of you did come in enlightened. We're not doing that to toot your horn. We're not doing that to, let's see, get you to think you're better than others. Get you to think you don't have to do anything because you came in enlightened. Get you to think everything's going to work out magically in your life without you doing anything or changing anything if it's not how you'd like it to be because you came in enlightened. It could work out well. However, step 1, hone in your gifts, would be the best way to be able to discern for yourself if you actually are enlightened or not. And if you're not there, well, that's a great step to focus on the way there. It's only going to help you. With much love, we say that. Some of you might say, well, just do it for us. Just do it for us. Just do it for us. Where's the fun in that for you? Yes, you could say these sessions could move you closer to that. They can open up your gifts. They can bring light your way. They can bring shifts and changes for the highest good. They can facilitate healing and other energetic work and things like that. Of course, they can bring you closer. We can do things to move you towards that, and we do. We're also here to allow you to have your power, encourage you to have your power, encourage you to go on your journey. And if you will not do that, why should we do it for you? If you will not do it for yourself, why should we do it for you? We will do certain things for you. However, at a certain point, we have to rip the Band-Aid off a little bit. At a certain point, you have to recognize you are powerful too. You have capabilities too. You can do this too. You are not helpless. You are not unable to create. You're not unable to get there. You're not unable to shift yourself in your life. And if you are in a stuck place, yes, get support from others. You don't have to do it all on your own. At the same time, you don't have to act like a baby who can't do anything, because that is not true. You are not a baby who can't do anything. That is what we'll say. You'll have to go on your own journey to uncover these things, unlock these things, and move towards enlightenment if you would like it. You'll have to go on your journey with the universe to get there. Because it does not have to look the same as everyone else's, the journey to it. It really does not. That's why there's not always a one-size-fits-all on the enlightenment journey, if that's a journey you choose to take. There is not. So we'd like to close channeling on that question there. If there's anything else you would like to ask, we are open ears for further questions on that topic or any other.
That is all the questions I have today. If there's anything else you want to add, though.
Encouragement is what we would like to talk about for this crowd. So much more is possible for you than you realize. Possibilities with dreams coming true, possibilities with manifestation, possibilities with magic, possibilities with your gifts and abilities. There's so much more possible for you than perhaps you can even believe right now for many. It's there, though. You can feel into all the possibilities. You can energetically perceive all the possibilities, and you can invite them in. So we would really like to encourage you towards your dream world. This holiday season, if you are watching this as soon after it is uploaded or anytime, because it's possible to bring it in. Even for those of you who may be in a lot of pain and suffering right now, what if it is possible to change that? What if it's possible to change your story, change what's showing up? Now, we are not promising medical miracles. We're not playing doctor with all of this. We are asking you to look at possibilities. Legal disclaimer, not doctors. Ha! We could really help doctors if doctors would work with us, potentially. However, we are not licensed physicians on your planet. Ha! We will say that for the podcast disclaimer and as a joke. However, we'd like to encourage you towards your best lives. We'd like to encourage you to look away from the suffering in your world and look towards what is possible for you, at least more of the time. For you all have great gifts within you, great possibilities within you, great timelines that can birth through your actions, through what you're choosing to do every day. And many of you neglect that you have that power to change your reality, to birth your dream world. Why? Just because of a story, just because of what everyone else tells you, just because of the results you've had so far. We understand. However, we're not going to pamper that. We're not going to say that is right. It's not wrong. It's also not right. It's something you can change. It might take years. It might take a day. It might take 2 seconds. It can change. And that's the encouragement we'd like to give you. What would you like to create? Can you commit to it coming true? Even if your first 10 attempts do not work, what about the 11th? What about the 20th? What about the 30th? Hmm? And as you get your intuition honed in, more and more and more of them will be working better and better and better, we will say. You'll be led to the resources, the tools, the things you need to get there if you don't quit, if you keep looking, if you keep attempting, if you keep asking. So our encouragement is to keep going and not to give up on you or your dream reality. And for those of you where our words hurt you because you think it is so not possible and you think we are blowing hot air into this microphone, into your ears, blah, 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 encouragement, blah, 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 dream reality, blah, blah, blah. Well, you might be mad. Someone just broke up with you. A parent just died. A dog just died. Something happened. Give yourself a break. Give yourself a break to heal. And when you're ready, come back to it because this is possible, even if you're not in the place to hear it right now. If anything's possible, it's possible. So that is our encouragement. If you need to heal, heal. But don't give up. Not now. Not when the world might need you in a year with the dream you have, or 5 years, or 10 years, or all the years you're already doing that work and just growing it. You came this far. You might as well make the rest of your ride a ride you would like to live to the best of your ability. And if you stumble on the way, pick yourself up and try again. Do it again, attempt again until you get it, because there is a way. And we would not be saying this if there wasn't a way. We would be telling you something else. We would be pointing your attention somewhere else. we'd be pointing your attention to, mm, oh, the love of the universe, and all the unicorns are blessing you with magic. And for some of you, unicorn type spirit animals are blessing you with magic. If that fits your framework, we'd be pointing you to anything else but this. We're not taunting you, we're encouraging you. So invite it in, go on the journey if you'd like it, and open to the possibilities. Invite the possibilities every day. I open to the infinite possibilities of my dreams coming true. I open to the infinite possibilities of my life becoming the life I'd like to live. I open to the infinite possibilities of things changing in the ways I'd like them to change. I open to the infinite possibilities of my dream reality showing up for me. And universe, bring me everything I will require to get there, for it to happen, for me to do my part to have it happen, for me to heal in the ways I need to heal for it to happen, for me to raise my vibration for it to happen, for me to shift in the ways I must shift for it to happen, for me to release the beliefs in the way of it happening, for me to install the beliefs that will make it happen, etc., etc., etc. That's it. We are wishing you well. We realize this year for that many of you have, it's brought many surprises, maybe not all. And we realize the road ahead. It is not necessarily rainbows and butterflies for the world. However, your world can be much better than it is right now in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years, if you'll go on that journey. And the outside world does not have to be your reality or your life. In fact, we would say if you were looking to match your world, your life with the outside world, why would you do that? Why would you let everyone else's, if you would like the word karma, everyone else's unconsciousness, everyone else's anti-consciousness, everyone else's crap into your life that you've worked so hard to not have crappy to the best of your ability? That's where boundaries come in, by the way. The outside world does not have to dictate your internal world or choices. And the world at large does not have to dictate the quality of your life or reality now or going forward. And it never had to in the first place. So don't get sucked into that game. Your world is yours. That is our encouragement. So take care, this crowd. We may have left you with a lot of food for thought for some of you. And know that as you invite in your dream reality, you can have it. It can come in for you, regardless of the shifts and changes and things that must transpire for it to show up. Take care and farewell. We are signing out for now. The Angelic Collective of Xorbítal and Source. All right.
All right.
So I hope that was good for you guys. I hope that was helpful and did whatever was for the highest good. Kat, do you have any closing words, anything you'd like to say or bring up, or anything you'd like to ask me while we're here? Not that you would.
No, not really. It was a lot of good information. So I think I'll end up re-listening to it after this. But yeah.
Cool. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I don't really have any comments right now either. But yeah, I'm wishing you guys well. Is there anything else I need to say before we start to wrap this up here? Yeah, I'm wishing you guys well. I hope you guys do have a good holiday season. I hope it's a lighter one for you and you're able to invite in an optimal holiday season for you with
Yeah.
a lot of enjoyment and wonder and play and fun and celebration and peace and things like that. And if not, what about next year? And just do your best with it. And beyond that, if you would ever like to go further with my work, there's a Let's Go Higher membership on brandonhbloom.com where we have a lot of channeled information channeled, sorry, channeled content for you. I mean, yes, channel information, but there's full channel mode sessions that go out every month. There's a new one every month, channel guided meditations, where there's a new channel guided meditation every month. And you have the past months too that you'll be able to listen to. There's Q and Channel Day lives where members submit questions and I'll channel answers for them. There's channeled messages on the month ahead each month geared towards the members that show up. And then there's other content from past iterations of the membership that I left in there, like channeled intuitive readings and things like that as well. So, a ton of content. You can find that on brandonhbloom.com/store, as well as other channeled MP3s and content. And beyond that, my website is where to find my other offerings. So, you guys have a good couple weeks until the next episode, and I will see you on another episode of the Channeling Source podcast. How's it get any better than that? And what are the highest and best possibilities going forward for each of us, fully for that kid, respectively? All right. See you guys.
All right. Bye, everyone. Happy holidays.